There's small-time criminals, there's the ATF, there's bail bondsmen, there's double crosses abound. No one quite knows what's going down, except for maybe Jackie Brown. And today's review is Jackie Brown from Quentin Tarantino, of course. A great movie. This is an on-demand review. This request comes from Lennox Mate, good friend of the channel. Thank you very much for your recommendation. Now this movie, Jackie Brown, it's actually celebrating an anniversary, 20 years. This is the 20th anniversary of Jackie Brown. Isn't that incredible that it's been that long? I think even this month actually is the anniversary. It came out, I think actually Christmas Day. Because I remember there was a big, I'm sure you can see the commercials and stuff like that on YouTube still. There's a huge contest where you could win the money from the movie in a little bag, part of this sweepstakes or whatever. But you have to keep in mind this was a really highly anticipated movie at the time. Quentin Tarantino, he had only done two movies prior, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, which with only those two movies under his belt catapulted him, made him the biggest director ever. Everyone was quitting their jobs and going to work in video stores so they can be the cool film geek aficionado and make their own cool film geek aficionado movies like Quentin Tarantino was doing. So his influence was huge, and the anticipation for Jackie Brown was huge. Movie comes out, and it's not as big as say Pulp Fiction was, in the sense that it had all this crazy stuff going on, all these crazy characters, very Tarantino-esque, which, I don't know, it kind of went against those expectations, partly because it was a movie that wasn't directly penned by Tarantino. It wasn't an original screenplay. It was, of course, based on the novel Rum Punch by Elmore Leonard. So that's kind of a rare thing, an interesting thing in and of itself, in that we see Quentin Tarantino's style and his approach to material and the way he works with actors and the way he sets up scenes, essentially telling someone else's story, which is kind of a cool thing to see. We haven't seen that before or since. So, I mean, it's kind of a movie that it's different from what you may initially expect, but in the best possible kind of way. And it is quite a simple, or at least straightforward, let's say, type of movie, where it is, okay, well, we have Jackie Brown, who's kind of getting in trouble with the feds for working with Ordell, played by Samuel Jackson, bringing his money in from Mexico. He's kind of this wannabe big shot arms dealer, but his money's tied up in Mexico. She has to bring it back. She gets caught, and there's trouble abound, where he'll do anything to protect his interests. He's worked his ass off for that money, so if he has to kill some loser like Chris Tucker in the movie playing Beaumont, then he'll do it. And if he has to kill Jackie Brown, he'll do that too. Jackie Brown, who's been around the block a couple of times, not in that way, but who's kind of seen it all at this point, who's kind of tired and done with the game. She knows what's going down, and she knows she has to protect herself, so it's all about basically playing everybody involved, which includes the bail bondsman Max Cherry, played by the wonderful Oscar nominated for this movie Robert Forster, and includes Ordell, includes his buddy played by Robert De Niro, and the feds, one of which Ray Nicolette, played by Michael Keaton, who's great in the movie. So she has to play everybody, keep one step ahead of everybody, and keep her ass from dying, basically. So it's straightforward in that sense. But what's great about the movie is that, I mean, we really get to know these characters in their environment. And, kind of what I always think of Tarantino movies is that they are genre characters that are allowed to be a little bit different than what the genre allows. They always have these specific roles. They have these kind of, they're like these little chess pieces that they have to go a certain way, act a certain way. We always see them what they're supposed to be doing. But something like Pulp Fiction and something like Reservoir Dogs, we kind of see them shooting this shit and just talking and having normal conversations. And we see a lot of that in I was going to say Rum Punch. We see a lot of that in Jackie Brown as well. So they have kind of mundane conversations. They are, to an extent, genre characters. And you kind of almost want to say it's sort of Tarantino's answer to blaxploitation. It's sort of is like, but not really. But you kind of see, I don't know, for lack of a better way to put it, like the ghosts of blaxploitation in the movie, in a sense, where we have this character played by Pam Grier, Jackie Brown, who's kind of at the end of her run. She's middle aged. She's working a shit job. Maybe once she had the world by the bull by the horns of the world, or so, however the expression goes. What does Ray Nicholas say? You didn't exactly set the world on fire, did you, Jackie Brown? So there's kind of this whole forgotten world, and blaxploitation. It was this huge genre at a time where black audiences, they could go to see these movies and actually feel, in a sense, represented, as opposed to go and see a mainstream movie and there's like one black guy who in like a horror movie dies first, or maybe he's the comic relief or something. But with the change of cinema, today I would hope there's more representation, even though obviously there's still issues with representation. But the fact that Jackie Brown could be a mainstream movie in 1997, I think that says a lot. But it also says a lot about what has been lost. So it's kind of, in a way, kind of speaking to Quentin Tarantino's love for those blaxploitation movies. And of course, obviously, the star, Foxy Brown herself, Pam Grier, fantastic choice for the actress of the movie. So maybe they could have got, let's get Halle Berry or something like that, or someone real safe. No, they went with Pam Grier, which is a daring choice, and it paid off wonderfully. This is far and away her best film. And maybe there's some criticism of the film, and that there is representation of black characters, and there's dialogue that, of course, uses language that many people felt at the time. Well, okay, let's just go right out and say it. Spike Lee felt at the time. Mr. Tarantino, you cannot say the N-word in your movie. You're not black. You cannot allow any character in any movie you make to say those words, which is kind of bullshit when you think about it. This is their world. These are black actors, saying these words in this situation. So I mean, come on. And obviously characters in this type of world would use that kind of language, like we see kind of the interactions between, say, Ordell and Beaumont in kind of the earlier scenes, where he's coaxing him into thinking, hey, we're buddies, we're okay, everything's gonna be fine. Meanwhile, not so much for poor old Beaumont, which is a great scene, by the way, and that really is like the sort of microcosm of the whole movie, where character has one attitude, and that they make a representation of themselves, that they're going to act a certain way, do a certain thing, and then you've been tricked. And like, that's kind of what's fun about rewatching this movie again. Like, when you're first watching it, it does kind of, I don't know, come as a surprise. Like, you don't expect Samuel Jackson's character to you're thinking, what's he doing? Okay, Bowman, get in this fucking trunk of this car. We're gonna scare those Koreans, no problem. He's like, okay, put me in the car. I don't care, blah, 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 whatever. Man, motherfucker, you put me in the car. Go, shoots him. And you're like, oh, okay, so he shot him. But then when you watch the movie another time, with the knowledge that this can happen, you get a chance to like revel in Sam Jackson's performance, and that he's playing this cool, calm, collected con man who's really, he knows what he has to do, but he has to keep that poker face on. That's what the whole movie's about. It's about keeping on this poker face and playing the people around you in order to survive. And that's really what it's all about, fighting for survival in this crazy underbelly of California, where no one's really that big of a shot. These aren't the characters in Pulp Fiction. They're not big time gangsters. They're small time arms dealers and small time bail bondsmen who've been doing it for 20 years or are sick of it. So these characters feeling so, I don't know, comfortable in their situations, I think gives them this yearning to escape. And that's what, I think Quentin Tarantino movies all kind of come down to, escaping the life. That's what it is. Jules in Pulp Fiction, he escapes the life. The bride in Kill Bill, she escapes the life, and things like that. And Jackie Brown, certainly. She finds herself stuck, kind of lost and forgotten in the shuffle, and she makes her escape. Well, I mean, spoilers, but whatever. She gets away with the money. Spoilers. But what's in between is some great character interactions, great acting. I mean, obviously Pam Grier, fantastic. Robert Forster, fantastic. Oscar nomination for the movie, which was great. Samuel Jackson, this is one of his best. I mean, Samuel Jackson, he's been in like 2,000 movies. Like, this is one of his best performances. And Robert De Niro, who, you think, wow, Robert De Niro in a Quentin Tarantino movie, what possibilities could there be? And it's not at all kind of what you expect. He's more of a low-key kind of character, which I really liked. He's like kind of tamed a little bit in a way that he's, again, one of those tired characters left behind. He's been in jail. He's kind of just reached the point where, I just want to sit on the couch and smoke pot with, the blonde beach babe played by Bridget Fonda, who's also great. And he can say so much just by, kind of just like looking at Ordell and kind of just, doing his thing like, he can say so much with a nod than he can with dialogue, which is, the sign of a very gifted actor, I think. It's a pleasure to see Michael Keaton in the role. He also played this role in Out of Sight, the same character. Kind of weird. But that's cool. He's great in the movie. And really, I mean, it's all about, the double crossing, all about the big switcheroo and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is, I mean, I can spoil it for you, but it doesn't really take away the joy of watching it all go down, because it does so in a way that's not really that flashy. It does it in a way where you kind of think, yeah, I mean, this could happen. I mean, these characters could do these things, and it could go down exactly like this. So it feels authentic in a way that, I don't know, not a lot of other Tarantino movies do. His movies are a little more larger than life, I'd say, but I don't know, with the backbone of Elmore Leonard's novel, I think he's achieved something different. This is the most different Quentin Tarantino movie that he's ever done, and I say that as a compliment. I mean, definitely, I wouldn't say it's a 100% perfect movie, but I mean, well, really, what complaints can you have about the movie? Well, okay, maybe it runs a little bit too long. It's just, you're just getting too much of a good thing. Why are you complaining? You could say, oh well, there's not enough like cool pop culture references and stuff like. Well, I mean, come on. Quentin Tarantino, I think he's smart enough to kind of keep ahead of even himself in that sense. And again, with it being an adaptation of a novel, it's a whole different story. But I really think this is a great movie. It really is. Great performances all around. Quentin Tarantino's direction is top notch. It also, kind of has to get some points for Quentin Tarantino not being in a completely distracting cameo. Though maybe it might be his most distracting cameo of all. He's not on the screen, but there's actually one part where he plays the answering machine, and it's like so obviously him doing this cheesy answering machine voice that you're like, what? What? But, whatever. I don't know. I love them. I love the characters in this movie. It's not every day you can kind of, hang out and kind of, I don't know, empathize with these low down criminals in a sense that they feel like real people. But here you do. I mean, great scenes of them sitting on the couch watching the Girls Who Love Guns, Chicks Who Love Guns video. AK Yep, cut that out. Hi, Sally. AK-47, when you absolutely, positively have to kill every last motherfucker in the room, except no substitutes. Great stuff. Great characters. Great interactions. I love the movie. Anyway, I guess that's really all I have to say about Jackie Brown. Happy anniversary to this great movie, a rare Quentin Tarantino treat, unlike anything he's ever done. And I say that in a very positive light. Thank you very much, Lennox Mate, for your recommendation. Always coming up with a good recommendation, so thanks a lot. I always try to do as much as I can. If you have a recommendation for a movie, if you'd like me to review it, please comment below. Let me know, and I'll do my best. I always write them all down, so if you say it now and I do it in a year, hey. But thank you very much for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, I'll see you later.